You know, for years we've been told that a warm bowl of oatmeal is the cornerstone of a healthy breakfast, a shield against the morning rush, and a gentle start to the day. And for good reason. 2. It's packed with fiber, helps keep your heart happy, and can even help manage those pesky blood sugar levels. But what if I told you that the very additions you're putting into your comforting bowl might actually be turning this nutritional powerhouse into something that works against your health goals? It's a surprising truth, isn't it? Many folks, especially those of us who have seen a few more sunrises, might find ourselves feeling sluggish, experiencing unexpected digestive troubles, or even finding our energy levels dipping surprisingly soon after what we thought was a perfect healthy meal. You might be wondering, I'm doing everything right. Why am I not feeling my best? Well, the secret often lies not in the oatmeal itself, but in the innocent-looking ingredients we stir right in. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 7 common foods that, when combined with your beloved oatmeal, can sadly undermine its incredible benefits and potentially even lead to unwelcome health issues. We'll uncover why these combinations aren't serving your body, and most importantly, what simple swaps you can make to truly unlock oatmeal's full potential. So, stay with me, because watching this all the way to the end will reveal something about your breakfast habits that might just surprise you. Now that we've opened our eyes to the possibility that our seemingly healthy oatmeal might be hiding some surprises, let's dive right into the first culprit, one that sneaks into far too many breakfast bowls, often without us even realizing the impact it's having. We're talking about too much added sugar. You see, oatmeal, especially the old-fashioned or steel-cut varieties, is a truly magnificent whole grain. It's packed with soluble fiber, which is fantastic for slowing down digestion, helping you feel full, and steadily releasing energy into your bloodstream. This slow release is key to stable blood sugar and sustained energy. But when you heap in spoonfuls of white sugar, brown sugar, or douse it in sugary syrups like corn syrup or even too much maple syrup, you're essentially undermining all that goodness. You're transforming that gentle, steady stream of energy into a rapid sugar spike. What goes up quickly often comes down even faster, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and craving more sugar soon after. This cycle of blood sugar highs and lows isn't just uncomfortable. It can contribute to inflammation in the body and, over time, can increase the risk of conditions like insulin resistance. Think of it like this: your body is trying to run a marathon, but you're giving it a quick sprint booster instead of steady fuel. It's simply not designed for that kind of roller coaster every morning. A common scenario I see is people starting with a perfectly healthy plain oatmeal and then loading it up, almost out of habit. Maybe it's that extra sprinkle of brown sugar, or an unmeasured pour of a sweet syrup, or perhaps it's those convenient instant oatmeal packets that already have sugar as one of the top ingredients. The trick here is to gradually reduce your reliance on these added sugars. Instead, turn to nature's candy, fresh berries, like blueberries, raspberries, or sliced strawberries. Bring a wonderful natural sweetness along with a punch of antioxidants and more fiber. A sliced banana can also provide a lovely creamy texture and natural sweetness. Don't forget the power of spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or a pinch of cardamom. They can trick your taste buds into thinking something is sweeter than it is. And they come with their own health benefits too. If you absolutely need a touch of extra sweetness, try a tiny drizzle of pure maple syrup or raw honey. But think in terms of a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. And savor it. Over time, your palate will adjust, and you'll begin to appreciate the subtle, natural flavors of the oats themselves. Moving on from the sweet stuff, let's talk about another seemingly innocent addition that can become problematic: highly processed dried fruits. Now, don't get me wrong, dried fruit in its pure, unsweetened form can offer some nutrients and fiber. But the problem often lies in the type and quantity we add, and how they're processed. Many dried fruits on supermarket shelves, think cranberries, cherries, or even some raisins, are packed with added sugars, sometimes even more than a candy bar per serving. They're often treated with sulfur dioxide to preserve color, which can be an irritant for some people. Beyond that, when you dry fruit, you remove the water, which means the natural sugars become incredibly concentrated. You might happily toss in a large handful of dried cranberries, thinking it's healthy. But that handful could easily contain the sugar equivalent of 3 or 4 servings of fresh fruit, without the same bulk to fill you up. Imagine munching on a whole cup of fresh cranberries versus a tiny quarter cup of dried ones. The sugar difference is stark. And because they're so easy to eat quickly, it's easy to overdo it without realizing how much sugar you're actually consuming. This concentrated sugar can lead to similar blood sugar spikes we just discussed, undoing the steady release that makes oatmeal so beneficial. So, what's the better choice? Prioritize fresh or frozen fruit whenever possible. Frozen berries are a fantastic option. They're often picked at their peak ripeness and retain their nutrients. Plus, they thaw beautifully in a warm bowl of oatmeal, cooling it down just enough to eat. If you absolutely love dried fruit, look for varieties with no added sugar. And remember that a small sprinkle is all you need. Think of them as a garnish, not a main ingredient. You could even try rehydrating unsweetened dried fruit overnight by soaking it in a little water or plant milk. This brings back some of the volume and makes it less dense in sugar. And speaking of dairy, that brings us to our third area of concern: excessive or flavored dairy products. Many of us grew up pouring milk over our cereal, and oatmeal often gets the same treatment, while a modest amount of plain, unsweetened milk, whether dairy or plant-based, can be a good addition. The problems arise when we add too much, or when we reach for those sweetened, flavored options. Think about those fruit-on-the-bottom yogurts or flavored milks. They might taste delicious, but they are often loaded with added sugars, artificial flavors, and sometimes even artificial colors. Using a whole serving of a high-sugar flavored yogurt in your oatmeal can add another significant dose of refined sugar, again contributing to that blood sugar roller coaster. For some, especially as we get older, dairy can also cause digestive discomfort, like bloating or gas. And while plain dairy milk offers calcium and protein, pouring in excessive amounts of full-fat versions can add more saturated fat than your body truly needs, especially if you're already getting fats from other sources in your diet. The goal with oatmeal is to build a balanced meal that supports your energy and digestion, not weigh it down or inject it with unnecessary sugars and fats. So, instead of that overly sweetened flavored yogurt, opt for plain Greek yogurt, which is higher in protein and probiotics, and then sweeten it yourself with fresh fruit and a tiny touch of honey if needed. When it comes to milk, consider unsweetened almond, soy, or oat milk. These offer a creamy texture without the added sugars or the potential for digestive upset for those who are sensitive to lactose. A small splash of regular milk is fine if you enjoy it, but be mindful of the quantity and choose unsweetened varieties. Now that we've discussed how too much added sugar, processed dried fruits, and excessive or flavored dairy can hinder your oatmeal's health benefits, let's move on to some other surprising additions that might be doing more harm than good. Now that we've journeyed through the surprising truth about added sugars, processed dried fruits, and certain dairy choices, let's continue our exploration into other common culprits that might be sabotaging your oatmeal's inherent goodness. Our next item on the list might seem like a smart swap, but it comes with its own set of concerns: artificial sweeteners. On the surface, using artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin in your oatmeal might seem like a brilliant way to cut calories and sugar, especially if you're managing your weight or blood sugar. However, growing research is showing that these calorie-free sweeteners aren't quite the harmless angels we once thought. While they don't contain calories, they still signal sweet to your brain, which can perpetuate sugar cravings and confuse your body's metabolic response. Your body expects calories when it tastes sweetness, and when it doesn't get them, it might leave you feeling unsatisfied and craving more sugary foods later in the day. Beyond that, There's increasing evidence suggesting that artificial sweeteners can negatively impact your gut microbiome, that incredible community of beneficial bacteria crucial for everything from digestion to immunity. Anything that disrupts this delicate balance can have widespread effects, and some studies even link artificial sweeteners to increased risk of metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. So, if you're trying to move away from sugar, simply swapping it for an artificial alternative might not be the long-term solution your body truly needs. Instead of tricking your taste buds, it's about retraining them. As we discussed earlier, lean into natural sweetness from fresh fruits and spices. If you absolutely feel the need for a touch of non-sugar sweetness, consider very small amounts of pure stevia leaf extract or monk fruit extract. But even with these, the goal should be to gradually reduce your overall preference for intense sweetness. Your palate is incredibly adaptable, and with a little patience, you'll start to appreciate the natural, earthy flavors of oatmeal and the subtle sweetness of whole fruits. Next up, let's talk about a popular addition, especially for those looking to boost their protein intake: certain protein powders. While adding protein to your oatmeal can be a smart move to keep you feeling full and support muscle health, not all protein powders are created equal, and some can actually introduce problematic ingredients into your otherwise wholesome meal. Many commercially available protein powders, particularly those with bright colors and intense artificial flavors, are highly processed. They can contain a long list of additives, including artificial sweeteners, synthetic flavors and colors, thickeners, and fillers. These ingredients can cause digestive upset for some individuals, and they certainly don't align with a whole food approach to nutrition. Furthermore, some studies have found that certain protein powders can contain heavy metals or other contaminants, depending on their source and manufacturing process, which really goes against the pure nourishment oatmeal offers. The whole point of choosing oatmeal is usually to provide your body with clean, unadulterated nourishment. Introducing a highly processed protein powder with a laundry list of questionable ingredients can completely counteract that intention. Instead of relying on these potentially problematic powders, think about incorporating protein from whole food sources directly into your oatmeal. A scoop of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt or cottage cheese stirred in can add a creamy texture and a significant protein boost. A handful of nuts or a spoonful of seeds like chia, flax, or hemp seeds also provide healthy fats, fiber, and protein. If you do choose a protein powder, look for ones that are unflavored and unsweetened, with a very short ingredient list, ideally just the protein source itself, like plain whey protein isolate, pea protein, or hemp protein. Prioritize quality and simplicity over flashy marketing. Now, let's turn our attention to something that often masquerades as a health food, but can be quite deceptive when added to your oatmeal breakfast cereals and granola, especially those high in sugar and refined grains. Many people think of granola as the quintessential healthy topping for yogurt or oatmeal. And while some artisan granolas can be good, the vast majority of breakfast cereals and store-bought granolas are absolute sugar bombs. They're often made with refined grains, which lack the fiber and nutrients of whole grains, and then baked with copious amounts of sugar, unhealthy oils, and sometimes even artificial flavors and colors. Adding a big handful of such granola to your oatmeal is like taking a step backward. You're starting with a whole grain powerhouse in the oatmeal, only to pile on more processed carbohydrates and an unnecessary load of sugar. This combination can lead to a quick spike in blood sugar, followed by that inevitable crash, leaving you hungry and tired well before lunchtime. It adds a lot of calories without adding much nutritional value beyond the initial burst of energy. Instead of reaching for a sugary cereal or granola, consider creating your own healthy crunch. Plain rolled oats can be toasted lightly in a pan for a wonderful, nutty flavor and crispy texture. Or, better yet, add a sprinkle of nutrient-dense seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, or a small handful of chopped, unsalted nuts like walnuts or almonds. These options provide healthy fats, protein, and fiber, adding satisfying texture without the sugar overload. If you truly love granola, search for artisanal brands that list very few ingredients, ideally unsweetened or lightly sweetened with natural fruit. And always check the sugar content per serving before you buy. Remember, even with healthy fats and fiber, a little goes a long way. Finally, we come to an item that many people consider a healthy staple. But again, the devil is in the details: processed nut butters. You might think a dollop of peanut butter or almond butter is a fantastic addition to your oatmeal for healthy fats and protein. And you'd be right if it's the right kind of nut butter. The problem arises with highly processed versions. Many popular brands of nut butter, especially peanut butter, contain significant amounts of added sugars, excessive sodium, and, most concerningly, hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. These hydrogenated oils are a source of trans fats, which are incredibly detrimental to your heart health, contributing to inflammation and raising bad cholesterol levels. The added sugars simply add unnecessary sweetness and calories without any nutritional benefit, again undermining the whole point of your healthy oatmeal. It's often a shock to people when they read the ingredient list on their favorite jar of peanut butter and find sugar or corn syrup listed high up, alongside various oils. A good quality nut butter should have one ingredient: nuts, or perhaps 2 nuts and a tiny pinch of salt. That's it. When you choose natural, unsweetened nut butters, you're getting all the beneficial monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, protein, and vitamins without the inflammatory additives. So, when you're next at the grocery store, make it a habit to turn that jar around and read the label. Look for brands that list only peanuts or almonds as the ingredients. And remember, even healthy fats are calorie-dense, so a tablespoon or 2 is usually plenty to add flavor and creaminess to your oatmeal. It's a simple swap that can make a profound difference to the quality of your breakfast and your overall health. We've certainly covered a lot of ground today, uncovering how what we add to our oatmeal can truly make or break its nutritional value. We looked at how too much refined sugar can turn a steady energy source into a blood sugar roller coaster, and how seemingly innocent dried fruits can actually be sugar bombs in disguise. We also explored how certain dairy choices, especially the flavored and overly abundant ones, can add unnecessary sugars and fats, and how artificial sweeteners, despite their zero-calorie appeal, can mess with your gut and perpetuate cravings. We then moved on to the hidden pitfalls in some protein powders, advising you to look for purity, and the deceptive nature of many breakfast cereals and granolas that often bring more sugar and refined grains than goodness. Finally, we uncovered the surprising truth about processed nut butters, reminding us to always check those ingredient labels for added sugars and unhealthy oils. Now, I know that might sound like a lot to take in, and perhaps a little daunting to rethink your morning ritual. But please, don't feel overwhelmed. The beauty of these insights is that they empower you to make small, yet incredibly powerful, adjustments. You see, the goal here isn't to be perfect, or to suddenly overhaul your entire diet overnight. It's about making conscious, gentle choices that cumulatively add up to a significant positive impact on your health and well-being. Think of it not as giving up something, but as gaining so much more clearer energy, better digestion, more stable moods, and truly nourishing your body at a foundational level. Imagine starting your day feeling light and energized, rather than bogged down by a breakfast that secretly works against you. That feeling, that sustained vitality, is truly within your reach with just a few mindful changes. Remember, your health journey is a marathon, not a sprint, and every small step forward is a victory. Maybe you start by simply swapping out your sweetened dried fruit for fresh berries. Or perhaps you begin checking the label on your nut butter for hidden sugars. These are not drastic changes, but they are incredibly meaningful ones that lay the foundation for improved well-being. You deserve to feel your absolute best, vibrant and full of life, especially as you embrace this wonderful stage where wisdom and experience truly shine. It's never too late to cultivate healthier habits that support your body and mind. And here's the surprise I promised you at the beginning. The true magic of making these simple changes isn't just about what you avoid. It's about the profound feeling of vitality you reclaim. It's waking up without that sluggishness, finding your digestive system working more smoothly, enjoying sustained energy throughout your morning, and feeling a deeper sense of nourishment from food that truly serves your body. The real surprise is how much better you can feel, how much more vibrant your days become. Simply by making a few thoughtful tweaks to something as fundamental as your breakfast bowl. You might even find your taste buds rediscovering the subtle, natural sweetness and rich flavors in whole foods you never noticed before. It's a wonderful journey of rediscovery, and your body will thank you for it with renewed energy and comfort, helping you seize each day with confidence. I truly hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights and a renewed sense of empowerment over your daily choices. I'd love to hear from you. What's one change you're going to make to your oatmeal routine after watching this video? Or perhaps you have a favorite healthy oatmeal combination that you'd like to share that truly makes you feel fantastic. Please leave your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Your insights are so valuable to our community, and we learn so much from each other. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more wonderful people just like you who are looking to live their healthiest, happiest lives. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We're always here sharing practical, encouraging advice to help you navigate your health journey with confidence and joy, offering tips that are easy to understand and even easier to put into practice. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Always remember, you have the power to nurture your body and truly thrive at every age. Keep making those conscious choices. Keep exploring what makes you feel good, and continue to live your best life, full of energy, happiness, and well-being. You absolutely deserve it.